My dog is like camping outside of my room right now, and it's making it very difficult for me to record. Hi, hello, VinnyEndDragon here, and welcome to the NBBL. The NBBL is a Pokemon Wi-Fi Draft League hosted by Novaxblader. His channel will be in the description, so be sure to check him out. I really appreciate him for having me. But enough with the preamble, you came here to see my Pokemon Draft team, right? Yeah, let's get into it. Now, Pokemon Draft teams are complicated. I feel like they need to be, built around something well-rounded, something that you can really prepare for and do a jack of all trades, something low to the ground, and that's NECROZMA Dawnwings. Okay, so I may have spent my first round pick on NECROZMA Dawnwings, but can you really blame me? This thing is broken. Now, NECROZMA provides a lot of value for this team, mainly a 157 special attack stat. I mean, what are we talking about? It also has a 113 attack stat, so even if I don't want to run it special one week, I can run it physical and just absolutely destroy some stuff. Even if I don't want to do that, it has access to Stealth Rocks, and is just a pretty good spin blocker. Unfortunately, this type combination has some weaknesses, which is why I decided to pick up Ursaluna in the next round. Ursaluna is a more reliable physical attacker than NECROZMA. I mean, I want to run NECROZMA special every week, so why not just grab a really bulky physical attacker like Ursaluna? Ursaluna also serves as a normal type, which is a ghost immunity, and normally I wouldn't really care about having a really good normal type. I mean, having a normal type's good, but it's not really that important. But when your team is, very weak to ghost, it's pretty good to have a bulky normal type. Now, if you're new to the VinnyEndDragon channel, you'll know that I like to have 3 really potent offensive threats in my top tiers. And I have 2 bulkier ones, which is why I had to rep the channel mascot. Let me grab Kyurem. And before any of you say that Toadschool is the channel mascot, go away. I mean, what more can I say about Kyurem? 130s in both of its attack stats, 90 in the speed tier with access to Dragon Dance. It's an ice type, and we need an ice type on every single draft team. I mean, it's essential. Now that we got our offenses out of the way, let's talk about our defenses, which actually double as offenses, because next up we have Glimmora. Glimmora here really needs no introduction. I mean, it's the best hazard setter really in Gen 9 aside from like Garchomp, and being access to a grounded poison, it means we never really have to worry about removing toxic spikes. And also, Glimmora is the first of our Terra Captains. In NBBL, we have access to 3 Terra Captains, and while it is free Terra, unfortunately it is Terra Preview. Vinny from the future here, it's like really early, so I'm not going to put too much effort into this, but I definitely was wrong about the Terra rules when I recorded this segment of the video, and I don't feel like getting my green screen out to re-record. So I'm just going to briefly explain how the actual Terra rules are, because, I was being very stupid here. You have access to the 3 Terra Captains. I was correct about that. However, it is not Terra Preview. Instead, you have access to your 3 Terra types, one of which being a Stab type. I feel like this is still fine. It doesn't really change the math on who my Terra Captains were gonna be. It's just a bit of a misconception I say in the video. And throughout the video, I'll talk about like, oh, I'll have access to free Terra this, free Terra that. I still don't, but overall, it didn't really change my math because, again, I like having these Pokemon at these specific types. So anyway, back to the video. So we're not just gonna randomly bring like Terra Ice, Glimmora, and just absolutely wreck some stuff. We have to let them know. But overall though, Glimmora is still really good, and I'm happy to have it on the team. Almost as happy to have our next Pokemon, Ribombee. This little guy, Ribombee, is pretty much only here for web support. Now, it also gets access to a lot of great attacking moves. It has a pretty good attack stat, and it's a fairy type, which means it's a dragon immunity. But Ribombee is a sticky webber, which for my team, which is bulky offense, yeah, it's kind of important. I mean, can you imagine NECROZMA behind webs? Ridiculous. Next up, I was getting sniped a lot, and I really needed a flying type. I ended up going through stuff like Gyarados, but ultimately I winded up getting Tornadus Incarnate. Tornadus Incarnate at the 111 is a speed tier that I desperately needed at the time, and it's a flying type that has access to both defensive utility with Prankster to just get some support moves off, but also could be offensive with Defiant. And access to Bleak Wind just makes this a Pokemon that's hard to prep for. Plus, Tornadus is one of my Terra Captains, because, again, that offensive flying potential is just really too strong for me to ignore, and having access to Terra gives me access to a whole different bunch of type of moves to help wall those potential ground types, or just anything else that could potentially wall them, like steel types even. It's just super useful. However, you'll notice that I don't really have a steel type. I mean, sure, I have access to free Terra on Tornadus and Glamora. They do like tearing into steel types, but I want a true steel. I wanted Magnezone. Magnezone is super important for my team because it's a very, very slow Volt Switch. I thought about Jolteon for the longest time. I was like, ooh, I really want that speed tier. I want to click Jolteon, and Jolteon's actually Terra legal in this league, which means that Terra Ice Jolteon was just 100% fine. But after looking at it more with my team, I'm actually kind of glad I got sniped, because Magnezone helps me a lot. Plus, if it's a steel type that's not weak to ground, like Corviknight or Skarmory, well, I have Magnet Pull Magnezone. However, if you've been paying attention, you'll realize that I don't have a lot of Nox switch-ins. I mean, sure, Rabombi is one, but I don't really count that. And on a team with NECROZMA Dawnwings, they're gonna want to bring their knockoffers and just click really, really strong physical knockoffs. That's why I got Tauros Paldea Blaze. Tauros Paldea Blaze has access to Intimidate, which can help sort of mediate its middling physical bulk into good physical bulk. Plus, it being a defensive fire type but has access to really, really strong physical moves is actually pretty cool. Plus, that 100 speed tier, I really needed it. Dude, my team is so slow. If I don't have access to Rabombi webs, we're kinda cooked. Next up, the last of my Terra captains, I have access to Terra Dipplin. Terra Dipplin is really, really good because it can hold an Eviolite, and Terra just into any type that gets rid of its ice weakness, and oh boy, it's a monster. Or I could just keep its original type and make it a ground resist with access to Eviolite. Plus, it gets access to a lot of great moves, and overall, I just love using this Pokemon. For my second to last pick, I actually have Sableye. Sableye is pretty important. It's got Prankster utility in the form of screens and other stuff like that. It's another ghost type, which, just in case I don't bring NECROZMA one week but still want a ghost type, very minuscule chance of that happening, but it's there. I need it. Plus, it's a ghost type that's not weak to ghost, which is very important. Overall, I just felt like Sableye, despite being not great, was pretty important to my team. However, looking at this draft, I still don't have a water. It is the last pick in the draft. I waited until round 11 to grab my water type. Now, there was a lot of picks that were going through my head. A lot of earlier round picks, for example, that got sniped for me. Tauros Paldea Aqua was a pick that I had in mind. I had stuff like Gastrodon in my head. I had Gyarados, like I said before. The snipes this draft were crazy. But the one I decided upon is gonna be pretty interesting, because I drafted Clawitzer with my last pick. Now, you might be thinking that I'm digging a little too deep into bulky offense, and you're right, but Clawitzer is actually a cool guy once I started to look at his stats. Now, Clawitzer is slow, don't get me wrong. This thing is slow. 59 speed is not anything to build anything off of. However, 89 and 88 in defenses? Not too bad. And then, of course, 120 special attack. Off of a bulky water, well, kind of bulky water? I'm not mad at that. Plus, you have access to Mega Launcher, which means that 120 might as well be like a 150. I'm not too worried. But overall, that's going to do it for my draft for NBBL. I have my next battle very, very soon, so I hope to catch you then. Let's get our first W.